Well, it's no secret in this economy, and especially here in San Diego, that a lot of folks are really struggling with their mortgages right now. And before you stress any more on that, please sit down, take a deep breath for just a couple of seconds, and listen to what our real estate expert, Brian Garrity, has to say this morning. Brian, good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Thanks for having me.
You bet. We're going to talk short sales here in a second, but I want you to give this statistic that you and I were talking about here. For folks that get into trouble and then lose their homes, this blew me away when I heard this.
Yeah, 57% of the people who lost their home up to the third quarter of this year, they didn't pick up a phone, they didn't call a realtor, they didn't call a lawyer, and most importantly, they didn't even call their bank.
So 57% of the people who lost their home didn't even try to get help.
No.
And I don't know whether it's because they didn't know what to do, they didn't want to deal with it, or what, but we'll talk about a lot of these other options, over our future visits here. But let's just talk short sales today. Because that's the buzzword, that's what's out in the media right now.
It is.
I've gone through one back in '94 in Los Angeles. You've been through one.
I have.
It can be a daunting task, but it's still a very good option for some folks. Who in particular?
Well, you want to make sure, and the banks are looking, they've got the microscope on people now. So you have to have some type of a hardship, whether that be insolvency, unemployment, your mortgage adjusts, you can't afford the payment. Everybody's situation is individual. So it will just depend on really getting to the nuts and bolts of that individual and their mortgage. Is it a fit? And what may be a fit now may not be a fit later. I mean, they may have adjustments coming down the road like we were talking about in your loan. There's just a lot of different factors.
So a short sale, very simply, is finding a buyer for your home who agrees to buy it, but they're only willing to pay less than what you actually owe on the home.
Well, yeah. Basically, you're the homeowner, they're over encumbered, so they owe more on the house than what the current market is going to hold. So you need to engage an agent or an expert in the field, list the house on the market, and get an offer on it, and you present it to the bank. There's a lot of skill that has to go into that, though. It's not just like list the house and throw an offer at the bank.
Yeah, it's not exactly. It's not, you put your house on the market for $600,000, somebody comes and offers you $4, and you say, I'll take it, let's do a short sale.
Correct.
It's not that simple. But let's deal with some of the myths here. Myth number one, you say, is that the bank would rather foreclose than bother with short sales. I know a lot of people feel that way because getting the conversation started with the bank can be difficult.
Correct.
But they wouldn't rather have the home back.
No. In fact, the banks, I think, more and more, especially in the last several months, have come on board and are wanting to do short sales rather than a foreclosure. It just makes more sense for them fiscally. And
myth number two, you don't have to be behind on your mortgage, do you? People think you have to be behind.
That's a little controversial.
Okay.
I think if you called the bank and you're making your payments on time and you say, hey, I want to short sell my property, the answer is probably going to be no. But there are circumstances, and they're very finite, where the bank may allow you to have a short sale.
I never got behind in '94. I had moved out of L.A., kept the home, and rented it out to somebody, but the rent wasn't covering the mortgage.
Right.
And I never did get behind, and it was tough to get the conversation started.
Right, but you're a perfect example of somebody that you relocated. You didn't have a choice. It was for work. So that's
there are
a
circumstances.
Well, they're opening up to it. I wouldn't say that would be a really hard situation to get through. Do they go through? Yes. Is it common? No.
But again, this is where you need an expert. You've got to call somebody like yourself to help us out here. We've got about a minute here that we can go through a couple of these. Not enough time to negotiate a short sale before my foreclosure. Is that a myth?
No. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You need to, if you know you're in trouble with the bank, get to an agent right away. If you get a notice of sale, which means you've expended all your time, still go to an agent. Get on board with somebody. Do not let your house get foreclosed on.
Another myth here. Listing my home as a short sale is an embarrassment.
Hey, we did it.
Yeah, I did it. You did it. It's the market.
Yeah.
It's the market. It's not you. You didn't necessarily do anything to get yourself into this circumstance. We've got some information up here on your screen right now. If you'd like to give Brian a call, BrianGarrity.com is the website. His phone number is up there as well, and he can certainly help you start walking through this and seeing if you're a candidate for a short sale or any of your other real estate questions. Banks are waiting on a bailout and not accepting short sales. Is that a myth?
A total myth. Yeah, I think they've had their take. So, no, that's a big myth. That's not happening.
Now, you've also got a good neighbor offer that you'd like to make here. For the first three callers, and I know we can't, I wish we could do more than three, but I know, it would overwhelm your office to try to do that. But for the first three callers, you'll what, have a conversation with them? What will you actually do for them?
No, we'll actually take their paperwork, look at it, and help them through a loan modification process. Strictly as a good neighbor policy, that's not something, if people are out there charging you for that, that's a problem. We would do that as a courtesy for somebody to help them navigate through the bank.
Okay, so give Brian a call and do that. The final myth, buyers are not interested in short sale properties. Buyers?
Are you kidding?
Of course they would be.
Hello? Yeah, no, they are. Holding them in the process may be tough, but they're interested.
Okay, give Brian Garrity a call. And Brian, it's great to see you. I can't wait to have some of these other conversations.
I know.
Real estate's a hot topic here in San Diego.
It is. You're a good guy. Thanks.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Good to see you.
All right.
All right.